Hello, welcome to day 4, our day 4 review of the first test out of England against India. It was a very, very interesting day. England are still on top, but there's a big but about the result of this game. But anyway, we'll come into that. Mick and Wayne has joined us today. Hello, Wayne.
Hello. Nice to be here. Nice to finally get an invite.
Yeah,
it's nice to get out of bed, mate.
I'm a nocturnal animal. What can I say?
Yeah, I spent the last 2 days trying to wake you up so you can do it, and then we finally have you.
I've been up since like 3:30 in the morning watching it.
So have many other people, but they,
So have
I. So it is day 3 as the scores going across your bottom of the screen. The basics, two important stats are India need 381 to win. England need 9 more wickets, having both innings ended and bowled India out eventually. And then England's innings taking several hours longer than it maybe should have done. But we'll come on to that, I suppose. Wayne, India's 4 wickets, lost the 4 wickets early on to set England into bat. India batting round did pretty well to get to the total they did, didn't they? Washington Sundar 82, am I right?
85, I think Sundar finished on. 85. Now, he batted really well, to be fair, which is good because he can't really bowl. So he got to justify his place in the team somehow. I was really impressed with him with that. Took the game to England. There was some quite village bowling in there, but we'll gloss over that. So they put on a respectable score. I don't think they were ever going to get under the 200, the 200 behind mark. But then again, there was no point where you actually thought England were going to make them bat again anyway. So I don't think it made a great deal of difference. It was more about getting them out at whatever cost that may be. It was the time element more than the amount of runs they'd got.
Yeah, so England get India out, Mick, and that left the lead of 241 for England. England's lead. So obviously England were going to bat again. To be honest, I think if the lead were 400, England will have still batted again anyway.
Yeah.
So England went into bat, and they took basically almost the rest of the day to get out for 178. The score's almost irrelevant, but it took a long time to get to where we got to.
Well, it's up to a point. I mean, we've always said for 2 days now that this Test match was as much about time as it was about getting runs on the board, and it's a balancing act, isn't it? They've got to make sure they've got enough overs to bowl India out. We've got to make sure that we've got enough runs on the board to make sure that India can't realistically chase it down. But having said that, unless you've got 700 on board, India are capable of chasing it down. So the issue is going to be obviously the pitch and now that fares tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, I suppose there could be some criticism levelled at England for the way that they battered at times. But we're in a decent position. I think we could have been in a better one though. I think we could have probably put a bigger score on the board.
The issue I'm looking at breaking down the stats now. We got Ollie Pope got out when England were 130 for 6, and that was 28.4 overs. It took us 18 more overs to get all out for 178 for another 50, almost 50 runs. When you chase, not chase the game, when you're trying to make sure you have enough time to be going at 2.7 runs and over, Wayne, is not really aggressive enough.
Yeah, I didn't really understand what the game plan was at first. I mean, maybe with a little bit of hindsight, I've sort of got an idea of what's going on. Well, basically, they went at it, went at a bit of gunko. They lost wickets. They were running at around 4.5, 5 runs and over, which in Test cricket is kind of ridiculous. And that's why they only got the 178. But at the point that Butler and Pope go in, you can see they were going for it. They were going aggressive. They were trying to score quick runs. And the Indian bowling line were on the back foot. Pope gets out, trying to reverse sweep for the fourth ball in a row. I think it was fourth ball in a row. So it was going to happen. Don Best comes out to bat. At that point, I could have accepted a declaration. We were only about 375, 380, something like that. But I think I could have accepted it. However, watching the game plan from there was just confusing. Don Best came out, he was just padding balls away, no interest in playing shots. But he was also keeping the strike, which didn't make any sense. He was padding away for 5 balls and then getting a single. So if you're watching thinking, well, Josh Butler's at the other end, and Josh Butler's well known for a specific type of play, which is exactly what we're reading at now. And yet Don Best, you're taking the strike. I just didn't understand it. And then I was maybe thinking, okay, maybe they're just trying to protect the seam bowlers, Archer and Anderson, to make sure they've got enough rest time. I did think at the time they'd probably need about 50 overs of rest, almost treat it like a one-day game. But then they sent Archer and Anderson in, which just didn't make any sense. If after Don Best got out, they declared there, which I think was after the lead. I think it was only about 15 runs less than what they actually got in total.
Yes.
It's like 402 or something like that when the Best got out as the lead. I'd have completely accepted a declaration there because you thought, right, we'll protect the seam bowlers, let them come out and have 4 overs each. Let the spinners have a couple of overs each. That'd make sense. But no, they kept going. I just didn't see the logic in that part. You just seemed like a waste of 5, 6, 7 overs.
I suspect what they've done is they've set themselves a target that we want X number of overs at India tonight. For sake, I don't know how many we ended up bowling at them. I can't. 15 overs was it? I
don't think it's quite that many. Somewhere around that figure.
I'm thinking maybe we've set that as a target, and we're either out or we're not. You know what I mean? We get to that level, that either that number of overs left in the day or that amount of time left in the day, and that's when we'll either declare if we're not already all out. But in the meantime, we'll just keep banging the runs on. I say banging the runs on, trickling the runs on. Yeah, I mean, the hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it? And I guess every captain and every analyst would have a different opinion and different view as to what is the right and the wrong decision. I think they were probably hoping to be able to get another wicket or 2 possibly before the close, but I think that were probably ambitious as well, to be honest.
I think they would have wanted 2 wickets because Gill or Pujara they really needed to get them tonight before close of play. So both dangerous players. I've been really impressed with that Gill so far in this game.
We say it's hindsight, but this is one of the bad areas of Joe Root's captaincy, and I'm not going to take too much away from him because England are in a fantastic position in terms of the Test match. But this is a recurring theme of it varies from whether it's the field or declarations or aggressive batting when it needs to be. They don't take an opportunity and really, really press the opponent in these circumstances. If we'd have got out for 20 more runs but took six less overs, that would have been fine. I don't understand it, and it's something that does keep happening if this England team, and it is a bit of a worry because that could potentially, if we get the 8 down and we run out of time tomorrow, that's potentially cost us the game, and that's a real possibility with this Indian team. They could very easily bat out the day.
They've got no interest in winning this game, mainly because they'd have to make history to win this game. They talk about the game in Chennai in 2008, where they chased down something like 387. If you look at India's batting lineup that day, it's very different to what they've got out today. Yeah. And you've got Sehwag, Dravid, Tendulkar, Laxman, Yuvraj. They had a decent batting lineup back then.
Yeah, it's not bad,
but I can't see that being possible on that sort of pitch. I don't think they'll have the ability to attack on that sort of pitch.
Yeah,
it's just questions will be asked if they end up 8 down at the end of tomorrow's play.
You look at that run chase in 2008 as well, 387 or whatever it was. The next highest run chase, fourth innings run chase at Chennai is 155.
Yeah,
So it was a I don't like using that word, this word, but outlier. It's completely out there in terms of what is the norm as a fourth innings successful run chase at Chennai. But this Indian team, you cannot ever write them off. You cannot write them off. But I think I'm with you, Wayne. I don't think that they are even considering looking to win this game, which is for me, I think, from an England point of view, is exactly what we want, because I think we've got more chance if we can get them under pressure early doors. I think we'll bowl them out.
It's a compliment to us, if nothing else, that the best team in the world on home soil aren't even looking to win the game.
Yeah. Completely agree. Bearing in mind the circumstances, Wayne, is there anything you can take away from the England batting performance? Is it just it didn't really matter, or is it 170 is still not a lot?
No, it's that second innings batting performance is kind of irrelevant. It's not the way that you would play Test match cricket. It was born out of necessity. I don't particularly have any issues with the performance apart from those last 10 overs, which just seemed odd. But in terms of the top order, Rory Burns, to be fair, got a really good delivery when it was first up. He probably should have left it, but again, hindsight. Sibley, a little bit of a weak shot, but at least they had a go.
Yeah, no, exactly. I don't agree. And Root were going well. Strike got 40, strike rate 125, which again at Test cricket's unheard of. So it shows we can change up if needs be.
It was unlucky because that ball stayed really low. It's interesting watching it in real time and seeing him sort of look at it and think, "Oh, is he going to review this?" Because he's walking down, he's tapping the pitch. No, he's just completely confused as to how the ball's just done that. So I think it's if nothing else, it's encouraging for the likes of Jimmy Anderson and Joshua Archer.
Definitely. Mick, are you saying it's an impossible task for India to chase this total down then?
No, definitely not. I don't think it is impossible. But as Wayne says, I'm not convinced that they're going to want to do it. Because by trying to chase it down, they're obviously going to be putting themselves at risk of losing the game. I think they'll take a view on it as every hour goes by. I think they'll probably potentially look to just play the first hour out and try and make sure they don't lose any wickets. If they don't, then they might start to have a look at it, but dependent on where they are runs wise. If they're sort of knocking on the door of 100 for 2 after first hour, if they can have a decent first hour,
things change.
Yeah.
The interesting stat is the second innings batting averages of the Indian team, which if you take away Shubman Gill, who's relatively new to cricket, Rishabh Pant and also Washington Sundar, their averages in the second innings are between 25 and 33 as a batting average. When you consider their overall batting averages for pretty much all of them are
40 plus, isn't it?
Yeah. That tells you what it's like to bat in any sort of fourth innings in India, never mind on that pitch, which is dying.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be a fascinating day of Test cricket. Whenever there's a fifth day in Test cricket, it's almost always interesting. If it goes the 5 days, it means it's been an interesting game of cricket. I think.
Yeah, definitely worth waiting for.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll come back tomorrow and we'll do a full match review, depending on whatever happens. We'll do a review, and then I'm not even sure when the next game starts. I think it's either later on this week or
it's Friday.
Saturday.
I think.
Friday again.
I think so, but I'm not sure. I'll stand corrected on that one. It's 3-day break anyway. It's 3-day break between 2 games.
13th it starts.
Saturday morning.
Saturday then, yeah.
Saturday. Which means it's at Chennai again, so it's interesting to see the pitch. If it's going to be similar, you would assume it's going to be very, very similar, which means winning the toss is obviously ridiculously important again. But we will cross that bridge when it comes to it. In briefer news, cricket news, Pakistan beat South Africa. South Africa getting looked in a good position, but seemed a little bit of a collapse on that one. So, well done Pakistan winning the series over there as well. So that's really good news for them. Anything else you always want to touch on before we go away?
No, I don't think so. Not from me.
No, all good from me. That's looking forward to could be a very, very interesting final day.
Yeah, I agree. So thanks all for watching.
You got a prediction from between you?
How good of a draw?
I really want to say that we'll take the wickets, but I could see them batting it out if I'm honest.
Yeah.
They've got I don't think they've got any interest in scoring runs, and I can see them the rough patch outside, like stump to the right-handers. They're not going to do anything with that. They're just going to pad it away. Yeah, I'd love to be more optimistic. I'm optimistic in Sri Lanka for a couple of tests there, but I genuinely think this is going to be battered out for a draw.
I'm fancying England to win it.
Okay.
I'll nail my colours to mast, and I think we'll win it. I think Jack Lynch will get a 5 for.
Oh, big call.
That's
love
a big
it.
call.
You heard it here first.
You've got the deciding vote, like, see what you reckon.
I can't see it. I can't see England winning. I think it's going to be a draw. I think India averages are low, but they can bat out. And like I said, that the danger area for the batsman is obviously the legs on leg stump, which the right-handed batsmen can just pad it away and play it relatively comfortably. Obviously, and left-handers will struggle, but yeah, unfortunately, I think it's going to be a draw, which would be a really, really good result from where India were at the end of every single day. A draw would be a fantastic result for them.
Yeah, the draw's the favourite on Betfair. If you go into Betfair, the draw is the favourite, but India are 14-1 to win it, which I think is quite short, really. Bearing in mind the stats are completely against that, aren't they? England 6-4. So I'm fancying England to win it. Just last over.
I like how positive you are. Last over.
Last over a day.
It'll be interesting. It'll be very interesting.
Yeah.
So thank you everybody for watching. If you watch wherever you watch this, like the page, follow us on Twitter. The YouTube page is now cricket only. So if you search Northern Monkeys Cricket, all the videos I know where it was previously multi-sport, it's now exclusively for cricket. And there'll be at least one tomorrow for a review of the entire test. And later on in the week, we'll certainly do a preview for the second test as well. And as the series goes by, there'll be the odd bit popping up there. Wayne, what chance do you turn up tomorrow?
Depends what time I finish work.
Okay.
Same time tomorrow.
Should be fine. We'll wait and see. Should be fine.
We'll wait and see.
And Mick, I'm sure you'll be with us.
Of course.
Nothing
better to do with my time.
Exactly. So yeah, thanks all, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Cheers for watching, guys.
Remember, subscribe down. Where is it?